beauty may I walk all day long. May I walk through the seasons. May I walk, may I walk in peace. May I walk in peace on this path. May I walk through my life. May I walk in old age. May I walk, may I walk in peace. May I walk in peace. May I walk. In forgiveness, may I walk in loving kindness. May I walk, may I walk, may I walk in peace. In peace. May I walk, may I walk in peace. In peace. May I walk. May I walk in peace, in peace now. May you walk, always walk in peace, in peace. May we walk in peace, in peace. May I walk with loving kindness, in peace, in love. May you walk in joy, in peace, in love. May we walk.
morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you are here for yet another glorious Sunday morning. Have y'all noticed that fall is sort of like talking about maybe being in the air in the nearish future? I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the slightly cooler weather where we can be outside without it being absolutely brutal. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Reverend Chris Ashley. This is the last Sunday before it becomes Reverend Chris Alexander. And I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center. We are physically located in Falls Church, Virginia. However, we have a commitment to truly be a global community. So wherever you are showing up, whether you are here in person or online, we are so grateful that you are here and glad that you are bringing your presence, love, and attention to the service this morning. If you are joining us on the chat, please say good morning and tell us what you're up to, how your day is going. If you are here for the first time, welcome. We're so glad that you're joining us this morning. And you can scan this QR code. Scan this QR code and fill out a new guest connection card, or you can go to the website right here as well and do that. And that way we can get to know you and find out how we can support you as a potential member of this beloved community. Today we have an awesome service planned. I know I say it every week. It's because it's true every week. This is the final week that I am going to be talking about nature and developing ecological consciousness. And next week we're going to have Reverend Sherry Quander here to wrap up our month on nature. We have Lynn Hollyfield, our music director, and Brent Mast is joining her on percussion for the music this morning. So yay! And we have Judy Blaze, our illustrious guest practitioner, who's not really a guest anymore because she is definitely a part of this community. And I wanted to let y'all know, if you notice, Judy's face has a little bit of a bruise on it. She took a bit of a tumble, and she is okay. She didn't break anything. She is in recovery. Samaya, her daughter, was with her. And so if you notice that, you can just be praying for her health and wholeness to be revealed and know that that is already what is happening. All right, y'all ready? Because we have a lot of stuff coming up. First of all, I told y'all Reverend Sherry Quander is going to be here next week. That's going to be awesome. The following week, we have Reverends Melissa and Z from Oh My God Life. And they are all the way from California. They are our officiants. And so we get them as an extra special guest speakers and musicians. They do the whole service since they're already going to be in town. So they will be here in person. And after the service, this is on September 4th, after the service, they are offering their Oh My God practice workshop. I have taken this workshop before. It's really fun. It's really awesome. It's super interactive, and you are going to leave with some real life tools that you can implement into your life. Now, we are asking for a suggested $25 love offering, and they do need a minimum of 10 people, and this is going to be hybrid, so they'll be here in the room, but if you want to join on Zoom for that workshop, you can. It's going to be a hybrid workshop. And so go to this QR code right here and sign up for that workshop, or you can go to celebrationcenter.org and scroll down to upcoming events, and all of the information there is there to register as well. So you're going to definitely want to join us that first Sunday in September. We also are still doing Lutheran Social Services, and this month we are collecting diapers, specifically in sizes 4, 5, and 6. Ivor and I had a conversation this morning about how he's never bought diapers before and about how I got to buy diapers again. So go pick up a box of diapers and plan to bring them in, or if you are online, you are welcome to give to our VIA Vision and Action Fund, and we will purchase diapers on your behalf. Our second annual appreciation potluck picnic, that's right, a potluck, y'all. Y'all have been asking, and we are delivering, is going to be happening on Sunday, September 18th at 12:30 after the service. So the potluck part is in person only because we have not figured out how to teleport food yet. However, we are going to be offering it on Zoom as well, because this is an appreciation for our community, for everybody and everything that everyone is bringing. So plan to join us. Even if you're joining us on Zoom, plan to have something that you can put together quickly for lunch and join us on Zoom at 12:30, or be here. We're going to go outside and do our picnic spot behind the old building, and join us for that second annual appreciation potluck picnic. We have a Science of Mind 101 and Membership and Spiritual Community class coming up on Wednesday, September 14th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. So if you are interested in becoming a member of our community, and the requirement for that is to have completed a foundations class, and this class meets that requirement. So if you would like to become a member, please join us for that class. Or if you just want a refresher on what it means to be a member in this community and what the Science of Mind principles are and the kind of basic tenets and things like that, plan to join us. Even if you are just wondering what Science of Mind is and you don't know if you want to be a member yet, but you're like, I'd like to know more, just come. It's open to anybody, anywhere. There'll be lots of time for questions and communication. And then following that Wednesday, we will have New Members Sunday, that following Sunday on 9/18. So the 18th is a big day. You are going to want to join us, whether you are online, in person, whatever it may be, because we're going to do New Member Sunday. So if you would like to be a member of the community, please email me at revchris@celebrationcenter.org. All this information's on our website at celebrationcenter.org, and let me know so that we can get you all set up to be a member. And then finally, I mentioned back in July that we were doing a New Thought Renaissance. So that is scheduled and set. It is going to be October 1st, Saturday, October 1st, with a drum circle being offered on September 30th in the evening, Friday, September 30th. So mark your calendars. It's going to be in the afternoon. I believe it's 1 to 4. I think we're still working out timings and things like that. And it's going to be happening at Unity of Fairfax. This is a partnership between us and Unity to put together something really amazing. It's called Unite and Celebrate, a New Thought Renaissance, rebirthing, reawakening, reviving the power of spirit within. So this is going to be a must-attend event, and we're going to need lots of volunteers to help with setup and all of that, because this is going to be offered to the larger community. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can click on the QR code that's going to go up in just a second, and that QR code will take you to our volunteer form that you can fill out. Also, there was something else I was going to say about that. This is going to feature New Thought speakers and musicians from all over the area, from Maryland, DC, Virginia, everywhere. So it's a can't miss event. Plan to join us. And with all of that, I invite Brent and Lynn. Oh, and thank you, Lynn. So we did not do birthdays the first of this month because I wasn't here in person. So I wanted to honor anybody who has a birthday or an anniversary in the month of August. So anybody here in the room with a birthday or an anniversary in the month of August? No? If you're online, tell us if it's a birthday or an anniversary and what day it is. And let's sing happy birthday.
Okay. Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday to
you. Yay, happy birthday to you. And now an opening song from Brent and Lynn.
Okay, so I hope you'll try to sing along with this song. We introduced it the first Sunday of the month. Beautiful song, Blue Boat Home by Peter Mayer. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companion, all we kindred loving souls, make our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful song. I'm so grateful to be here. So, as we enter the sacred time in our service, I invite you to remember our vision as we say it aloud together. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And now, let's close our eyes or soften our gaze. And just feel how you're supported in your chair and the ground beneath your feet. And now focus on your heart center, becoming aware of that love light expanding in your chest and radiating out into the world as we breathe together. Just focus on that light as we take these breaths, which have 3 parts. An inhale, a pause, and an exhale. Breathe in, pause, exhale. Breathe in, hold, exhale. Breathe in, hold, and exhale. Just take a moment to continue experiencing your light radiating out from your chest. And connect to the love light of our beloved community, those present in the room, online, and those watching in the future. I invite you to stay right here in this sacred space. My readings today are from Earth Prayers. And there's a short poem by Gary Snyder, followed by a passage from the Sutra Nipata. Ah, power that swirls us together, grant us bliss. Grant us the great release. And to all beings, vanishing, wounded, in trouble on earth, we pass on this love. May their numbers increase. In safety and in bliss, may all creatures be of a blissful heart. Whatever breathing beings there may be, frail or firm, long or big, short or small, seen or unseen, dwelling far or near, existing or yet seeking to exist, may all creatures be of a blissful heart. So let's just feel ourselves in that blissful heart, which we know truly is the blissful heart of the one life, the source of all that is. Spirit, God, the one, beloved. Just acknowledging and recognizing that we are one in all that is. We are absolutely one with all that is. There's nothing outside of this one energy of pure, infinite love. This joy and this bliss and this deep abiding peace and this infinite abundance, the abundant flow of all good, moving in and through all of creation. We are all simply expressions of this love and this light and this power to create. We are one in this magnificent universe. And as one with the source, we embody and can express all of its qualities. The quality of deep, abiding peace, the quality of creativity, the quality of infinite, unconditional love, and the quality of perfect wisdom and clarity. So we open to feel that energy moving through us right here, right now, as we create our experience, our reality. With every breath, with every thought, with every belief and action, we are simply the purveyors of God's love. So in this space, I speak my word for each of us here, knowing that we recognize that oneness. We recognize the power that we have to create peace, love, bliss, harmony, balance, and infinite abundance in our lives and in the lives of all beings everywhere. We align with this power as we speak our word for peace in this whole entire universe. And right here, right now, within our own hearts, within our community, within our world, and within the universe. We claim peace right here, right now. And we know that the energy of peace must flow out. And it is fulfilled. And we claim infinite, loving, abundant life and perfect relationships, perfect interactions with each other and with all forms of life on this planet. For we are aligned with that source that just moves in and through all of creation with pure love, with pure, pure love. And we align with that right now. And we align with that wholeness that exists everywhere. And radiant health moves in and through every particle of our being right now. And into the bodies of all those that we love. We claim vibrant, radiant health. And we claim that abundance that is simply always available. The source pouring itself through every aspect of our lives. There is no lack or limitation in this one spirit, this one God, this one place, this one life. We are abundant. We are radiantly healthy. We are loving. We are loved. And so knowing that we are blessed and that we are a blessing, I simply allow this to be as I deeply, deeply give thanks. Thank you, Spirit, for the power to create as we speak our truth aligned with you. Thank you, Spirit. And now I simply surrender. I surrender it all because there is this power, this law, this immutable law, this power of creation that is moving in and through every aspect of this prayer, bringing into perfect fulfillment. And so in love and gratitude, I simply let it be, I let it go, and so it is.
Okay, so to follow today's theme, I thought it would be fun to revisit the song A Place in the Choir by Bill Staines. We've done this before, and if you're so moved, please make some animal noises as we go along and sing along if you know it. Here we go. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing high, or some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans like a pig to do when the old cow just goes moo. The dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums, the cricket fiddles, the donkey brays, and the pony neighs, and the old coyote howls. Oh, all God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher, some sing out loud on telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. Listen to the top where the little bird sings on the melodies with the high notes ringing. The hoot owl hollers over everything and the jaybird disagrees. Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day. The little duck quacks and he's on his way. The possum ain't got nothing to say, and the porcupine talks to himself. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. It's a simple song, a living song everywhere, by the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, the grumpy alligator and the hawk above, the sly raccoon and the turtle dove. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir.
Oh, I love that song so much. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that song back. So today the topic is the furry, the fuzzy, the slimy, the scaly, and everything else. I'll let you decide which category we as humans fit into in that little deluge there. And so I was thinking about, we're talking about this whole month of nature, we're talking about developing our ecological consciousness. And so if you haven't been here yet this month, ecological consciousness is really entering into nature, letting go of this idea that we are somehow separate than or different from or above even the natural world. And instead, we as humans are, yes, human, but we are also animals. We are mammals, right? And so we are an integral part, an aspect of the natural world. And as such, our actions matter, and what we do and how we show up in just our everyday life affects the natural world, because there is nothing that is not natural, because we are nature. And so I thought today we'd do something a little bit different. I asked y'all a couple of weeks ago what your relationship with nature was, and I told you to think about it and that I was going to ask you to come up and talk about it, or type it if you're online. So that question I'm going to ask y'all in just a few minutes, so be thinking about it if you haven't thought about it in the last couple weeks. And I'm also going to ask you another question, so we're going to have a double header tell us today. But before we get there, I wanted to share some stories about the relationship that we can develop with nature, and specifically with animals, right? And organisms, because that's what we're talking about today. And so I have a few stories for y'all. I have a little video for y'all, and then we're going to do our double header tell us, okay? So the first, and actually, before all of that, I almost forgot, but let's find out what Ernest has to say on this subject, shall we? So I have an Ernest quote, and what Ernest says is, every form is liquid, every form is transparent, every form contains a light which can be seen. Every form responds to the language that addresses it with a consciousness of union with it, from the lowest to highest forms of life, from the mind that sleeps in the mineral, waves in the grass, awakes to simple consciousness in the animal, and self-consciousness in man, and God consciousness in all. And so we have this idea of oneness, right? And so what we have learned, and his languaging is different, I think, than the languaging that we would use use today. But what I would say is that there's not a lowest or highest form of life, but rather there is life, there is consciousness, and then we can become more or less aware of that consciousness that is. So it's not that some people are more conscious or some animals are more conscious than others. It's that we are more aware of the consciousness that exists as all things. There is consciousness. That's it, right? And so that consciousness is in the mineral, in the grasses, in the trees, in the animals, in the bacteria, in all of the organisms, all of life, the very planet itself, as well as humanity, and that God consciousness is in all of it. Yes, yes, yes. How cool is that? And so to me, and my second tell us question kind of speaks to this. To me, talking about nature and really getting into the physical reality of having a physical body on this physical plane is a spiritual experience. So my second tell us question, and you can be thinking about this one just in the back of your mind, is tell us about a spiritual experience you have had in nature, whether it was with an animal or a plant or just an experience or whatever it may have been. So I am going to start with my first experience of understanding that animals can be individual, right? We tend to think of deer as deer and squirrels as squirrels and, elephants as elephants. But actually, when we get to know these creatures, there is an individual reciprocity, right? Like we can get to know the creatures on an individual level, and they can get to know and recognize us. And so every year when I was very little, like probably 6, 7, and 8 was when I was going. But every year, long before I was a thing, my parents would go to the Allagash Wilderness up in northern Maine for 2 weeks, and they would canoe all of their camping equipment out onto this island and stay for a couple of weeks. Nothing, no civilization whatsoever. And they would come home and they would tell me, I stayed with somebody else when I was really little, but they would tell me about this deer named Precious. And Precious would eat trail mix out of their hands. And I wanted to meet Precious. Oh, I wanted to meet Precious, right? And so finally, they started taking me with them when they got older. And I have very little memory of anything about that trip other than Precious the deer eating out of my hand and just the elation of that experience. And what was so cool is they went every single year, and this same deer would come eat out of their hands. This deer remembered them, and they remembered this deer. And it didn't dawn on me until much later that Precious was the name that my parents had given to the deer, not the actual name of the deer. Like, I just thought this deer was Precious, and, But it was this really magical, incredible experience for me. And I used to get so excited we would hand make our trail mix, and to make this trail mix that I knew we were going to be feeding at least some of it to this deer. And so when we cultivate that consciousness of letting go of anthropocentrism, which is that humanity is first, to ecocentrism, which is this idea that all of nature is equal, all of a sudden we can begin to understand and see that there is an individuality to not only every human, but every animal, every organism, that everything truly is unique, and that diversity extends so much further than just people, right? Barbara Smuts is a primatologist, somebody who studies primates. One of those ways, right? Right, Melinda? And she went and lived with 150 baboons in wherever baboons live. And she came to know over time all of them individually. And she had names for all 150 of them. And she could recognize them by their coloring and their size and their personalities and all of these things. And it took her months. It took her months of being with these baboons to get to know all 150 of them. Probably much like humans, right? It would take us a while to intimately get to know 150 other humans. And as soon as she knew all of them individually, as soon as she could recognize the whole tribe of these baboons, all 150 of them, one of the alpha males, all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but he flattened his ears down and raised his eyelids, showing the whites of his under eyelids, which is signaling to a female that he wants her to come to him. And so she looked around to see what female he was signaling to, and she realized that he was signaling to her. And so she said she responded in a baboon-appropriate way. Not sure exactly what that means, to signal, respect, and acknowledge his presence. But what I think is so interesting about this story was that it wasn't until she saw them as individuals that they were able to then see her as an individual. And so what she says is, my awareness of the individuality of all beings and of the capacity of at least some beings to respond to the individuality in me transforms the world into a universe replete with opportunities to develop personal relationships of all kinds. Of all kinds. And so that's it, isn't it? We talked a couple of weeks ago about how the very foundation of this universe is relationship, that even at the very beginning, at the instant of the Big Bang, that atoms, yes, I was told that I was saying the wrong word a couple of weeks ago, that atoms came together and bonded into relationship to form molecules. That the very foundation of our cells is relationship. We can't get away from it. And so, of course, this relationship is going to extend past just being in relationship with one another, and it's going to extend to the earth as a whole. So, I have more stories, but I would rather hear y'all's stories. So, my first question for you is, what is your relationship to nature? And you can tell us anything you want about that. You can tell us where your favorite spot in nature is, or what it was like as a child, if it's different now, or whatever that may be. And so if you're online, what is your relationship with nature? And I invite you to type it in, and we will pull it up on the screen and read those. And if you are here in the room, who would like to go first? I'm going to grab my mask. Brent, come on up. Oh, here, I'm going to... I can grab it, thank you. I'm going to switch to the other microphone. Thank you. What is your relationship to nature? All right, Harrison. I knew that you were going to have some good answers for this one.
I'll just get up here. Okay. Well, we do have Woody and Woodette, who visit me every morning, visit us. They're a little cardinal pair, and we put birdseed out for them, and they're real cute. You know, they come by and look for their seeds. Where are they? Where are they? So that's lovely to have a couple of cardinal friends. The relationship to nature is like, I'm never lonely. I am lonely sometimes in a crowd or in a street or in a mall, but I go out in the woods and every tree is my friend and sees me and I see them. And we don't talk verbally, but there's a communication there. And if I'm feeling really out of sorts and I'm go hike up a mountain or go paddle a river, I'm comforted. I'm back in wholeness, and because there's a love there that transcends human understanding, but it's life itself, and I'm remembering what my place is in life, and life is there remembering me, and so just to be quiet and listen. And let the noise in the head, all the dialogue in the head, ease away. Because I think that's the difference between us and animals. They don't have the inner dialogue. Yuck, 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 yuck. She said, he said, yuck, yuck, yuck. They don't ruminate, right? They get chased by a tiger. They're not off there feeling sorry for themselves later. Well, it's over. And they're free. They're free of the stress. So letting that go and just being quiet in the mind, and then, something happens that's magical. And the spiritual experience for me is wintertime. Because if I'm out there in the snow, it is really quiet. The trees aren't even talking. They're asleep. And something, again, is very magical. There aren't people around. It's just you and nature. And if it's good enough to ski in, it's like being in heaven because you just fly effortlessly. Well, you work your butt off going uphill, but there's a certain beauty, an overwhelming beauty. Everything is white, and the trees are wearing their Christmas, and so nature, man, that's a warm place in my heart.
Thank you, Harrison. And I knew that Harrison would have a lot to say about it because he's our intrepid explorer. He goes out for weeks at a time on the Appalachian Trail, hiking and skiing and backpacking and all kinds of things. So I loved what you said about transcends human understanding, because I think so often we think that our understanding must be the most transcendent, and yet it's not, that there's something about nature that we truly are all equal. Who else? Nature. Yes, Stephanie, come on up.
Well, first I just want to announce that I do have a new hip.
Yay!
And it's 4 weeks old.
Here, hold it really close to your.
Yes. So, yeah, nature, trees, plants, but I'm going to talk about animals and specifically cats. Because I can't even remember. As long as I remember, I just would always look at a cat and say, oh, it's so beautiful and so cute, and it feels so soft, and look at the eyes and the way it moves. And cats just entrance me. I mean, they're like, I don't know. I guess you could call it my totem, maybe. I don't know. But I just have this thing about cats where I'm captivated by them. And just animals in general. I'm just love them. Cats are super special, but just all animals. And when I was little, my parents they were agnostic. But they did have a Bible, and I did decide for some reason that I wanted to read it. And it said, man, meaning men and women, or maybe just men, would have dominion over animals. And I was like, what's that about? And I asked my mom, and she said, well, that's just someone's opinion. It doesn't mean that that's how, because I always felt like, well, animals are we're not better or smarter than them. They're smart in their own way. So, and it's not to say that I'm totally consistent with all this. I will admit I do eat meat, but somehow that seems necessary for me at the moment. But yeah, animals.
Thank you. Stephanie showing off that new hip. Oh. All right, we have somebody online. Let's see. Tim says, Suzanne had cats for the entire duration of our relationship. Josie, her cat, became our cat, and we had cats together all the way through Zelda. Yes, this is a big cat community. He then continues, Zelda has the softest fur of any cat I've ever known. Suzanne always compared it to rabbit fur. We have a big cat community here. A big cat community here in Celebration Center. Anyone else online? Oh, Ivor, you want to go? Oh, okay. And then Miriam. Ivor's usually just waving at me that other people have posted things.
I work at on a government facility, and I often stay around after. I'm sort of a late person, so I've discovered that as soon as all the people leave and the sun starts going down, a lot of animals come out. And I sort of start playing wildlife bingo with myself, because sometimes I just drive around to see who's there. And I find deer and raccoons and fox and just almost everything. And lately I've discovered turkeys. So it's one more box on the bingo I get to check off. But I think it's an interesting relationship that all these animals are there and unseen during the day, and they suddenly find their way out when I guess they think it's safe to come out. And it's that interesting relationship, that interplay between the people and the animals is kind of strikes me funny, and I get it's wonderful to be out there by myself and see them all. Then it suddenly feels like I'm part of them.
Thank you, Ivor. For those of you online, that was the face of our tech person. He's the reason that y'all are here with us. All right, Miriam. And I love that, Ivor. I love that there is this sort of this biosphere that's happening at your work that some people don't even know about.
Okay, I could be here for half an hour. I take care of dogs on the side, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now. And what's interesting is we'll have a dog come and visit us, and their personality, they're all so different, just like people. And we'll take little notes on like what their behavior is, and some of them have anxiety, and some of them are super outgoing, and we're just so excited every time. We're like, oh, Naomi's coming, we're so excited. Naomi she just knows where to go, and we have all of them just have demonstrated that they're so unique and different. So nature, anyway, I could go on for half an hour, but that was.
Oh, thank you, Miriam. Melinda, come on up. And while Melinda's coming up, so the second part of the question, if you haven't answered it yet, is tell us about a spiritual experience you have had in nature. So either one of those questions can be answered. So tell us about nature. Here, come this way so people
Nature?
can see you. There you go.
Okay. When I enter a forest, for instance, I just feel like I'm covered with love. It's so beautiful. The colors. Green is my favorite color, by the way. And being out there in the forest, it's a treat. But I did want to talk about my cat. My cat is named Cookaboots, and he's sweetest little boy who's in charge of me. And he tells me what he wants, where he wants to go, and then when he doesn't like what I'm doing or giving or whatever, he gets rah, But he's really a pleasure to deal with. He's totally gray, and is not an old person like me, but he just cheers me up. He's so cute and sweet and lovable, and I feel like we're really blessed to have animals like cats.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. As y'all are all talking about your pets, I'm like, yeah, it is really magical that we've kind of created this way to bring nature into our homes with our pets and our house plants and all of our different things. Ed, do I see you heading up? Yep, I thought so. Come on up. And if you're online, feel free to enter any answers that you have to what's your relationship with nature, or tell us about a spiritual experience you have had. Ed, come on down.
I've told this story several times here at the Celebration Center, but I grew up out in the country, and we had a place out on the farm behind our house. Our house had been a tenant house on this farm. It was called Lockwood's Hill. And when I was in grade school, I started going back and sitting there and at the base of Lockwood's Hill, because there were a bunch of teenagers that had bonfires down there regularly, and there was a little site, places to sit and that kind of thing.
I'm going to hold it for you.
So I would just go in and sit by this fireplace and talk to the trees. And I really got into talking to the trees. And you've heard this story before. When I was in the 6th grade, I went to a party down in town, and I heard a bunch of other kids talking about talking to God. And I thought, oh my God, that's what I'm doing when I'm talking to the trees. So I still talk to trees. And now, every day, I go to the National Memorial Park, which is right up here. And I drive around it. And then I have a particular place where I park. And I'm still part of the ministry of prayer here for this church, so I take my prayer requests along with me, usually anywhere from 15 to 30. And I have a particular place where I sit, and I go through all of those prayers and do prayers for the people that have submitted those requests. And I'm looking at what I call my forest, which is a thick forest of trees across the road from the north, on the north side of that park. And I've gotten to the point now where I call it my trees. And every day I sit there and do my prayers and look at my trees. So I'm still into trees.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I had not heard Ed's story about trees, so thank you, Ed. I didn't get to hear that one. All right, we have somebody else online. Casey Berry, nature is very cleansing and calming to me. Physically connecting to the earth, like walking on the beach, is so restoring. There's so much magic and remembrance in being in nature. Oh, and cats are the best. Yes, Casey, and that is my spot too, is the beach. Yes, 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 walking in the sands. Anyone else? Final call. All right, Lynn, come on up. Oh, yep.
Yeah, I just, just stay open to the symbolism of nature. I mean, I'm always grateful when I see the hawk swoop in front of me in the woods. Or the other morning, I had come home from vacation. We had milkweed in our yard that had just come up kind of amongst our other garden, and we let it go, and it was all nibbled down to nothingness. And sure enough, I looked in my flower garden, and there was a monarch. So anyway, I was just so excited. So, but it's also metamorphosis, and so maybe change.
Lynn's got change coming up. Oh, anyone else? Yes, Ed.
I just wanted to add, I forgot one thing at the park.
Uh-huh.
When I sit and do my prayers. At this time of year, there's always a bunch of geese in the park. And I count them every day. Drive all around and count all the geese. And yesterday was the smallest one I've had in a while, it was 30. But when I sit and do my prayers, I'm always surrounded by geese. I can see geese in
Nice.
directions.
So, Ed, I'm going to translate for the people online. Ed said that he had one more thing to add when he goes up to the National Memorial and does his prayers, that he counts the geese every day, and he does, and he has a notebook that he keeps. And that right now at this time of year, there's tons and tons of geese, and that when he's sitting in his spot and looking at his trees, that there are geese that just surround him as he prays his prayers. That's beautiful, Ed. Thank you. Did I see one more online, or did I make that up? Okay. All right. So there we go. So just to wrap it up, I think that we could probably sit here and talk about this and come up with stories and tell each other stories for, I don't know, the next week, something like that. And so I invite you to this week, just notice, what is your relationship with nature? And has that been a relationship that you've been fostering, or perhaps it's a relationship that's been neglected a little bit? I know that for me, this month has been very timely because my relationship with nature had been a little bit neglected with everything else that I had going on. And I've made a point of getting out and hiking and doing some stuff. And it's really been a game changer for me. And so is your relationship with nature one that needs a little bit of love and fostering and time and attention and care? And if so, I invite you to do that in whatever way feels good for you, whether it's going out into nature and hiking the Appalachian Trail, or whether it's just simply looking out your window, or sitting on your front porch, or whatever it may be. And so let us pray. So what I know is that nature is simply another reminder of oneness, another way that God shows up, that each and every squirrel and tree and plant and cat and dog and goose and single cell organisms and all of it is just that individualized expression of spirit, just as we are, just as humanity is, that each and every being on this planet is yet another reminder of the wild creativity of oneness as all things, as the infinite, eternal, absolute expressing here on planet Earth. And so knowing this to be true, I simply express my profound gratitude for the wild, lavish abundance of nature, for the way that nature always finds a way and steps up and says yes, for the way that nature so easily expresses its own divinity, its own oneness, and calls us into remembering our nature, our divinity, our oneness. I am so grateful for this relationship with the natural world, that we can cultivate and remember that we are that too. And I am so grateful for this community of nature lovers in whatever way is true for each individualized expression of what a nature lover is in this community. I am just so grateful for this conversation, for the ecological consciousness that we are developing, and for the resounding yes of creating a world that works for all beings, all organisms. And so I simply release my word, I let it go, And as we say together, and so it is.
I'd like to do this beautiful song. I think some of you know it. I learned it from Disney's Pocahontas. It's by Vanessa Williams. It's a beautiful song that fits this topic so well. Colors of the Wind. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people who look and think like you. And if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or ask the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my partners. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high can the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper skin, you need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Thank you. I heard them practicing that song and I was like, yes, it's so perfect. So this is the time in our service for our gifts and our offerings and our tithes. And your presence here today is an offering, or is a gift. It's an offering and a gift. And so we are so grateful that you are joining us, whether you are joining us online, in person, or watching us in the future. That simply by showing up and watching this service, or being a part of this service, if you are here right now, that your love and time and attention blesses this community. And so if you have a donation or a tithe or an offering for us today, there are several ways that you can give that, and we are so grateful for those gifts. Those gifts go to keep us doing what we do and continuing to step up into the world and create this beloved community that anybody is welcome to be a part of. And you can do that if you're here in the room. We have our basket over, or you can click on scan the QR code or visit the link, or just go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the Give button. And all of those will take you to our Secure Breeze website where you can donate online. And now I would like to invite Judy to do our offertory affirmation and offer a blessing.
So please join me in saying our offertory affirmation together aloud. This gift I give is God in action. I give it in joy. I give it in love. I give it in faith. I give it knowing that I am blessed, and so I gratefully give. So we bless these gifts. We know they are blessed by the divine because it is the divine moving through us that allows us to be a gift and to give. So we fully and graciously allow ourselves to honor the fact that we are giving, which is the same as receiving. And so we know that these gifts are blessed beyond measure, and they are fulfilling all of the amazing things that this center does, as well as reaching out into the outer world. And then we know that all of the benefits are coming back into our own beings. So we bless them, we love them, we are grateful for them. And so it is.
And so repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I am led by spirits. I am guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is.
If you want to stand if you're able. And we're going to sing Karen Drucker's song, I Send My Love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. And it returns to me. And it returns to me.
And so I send us out into the world to continue to cultivate and deepen and open to our relationship with nature as nature and develop that ecological consciousness. And so it is.